Drill obviously comes from Chicago.
There's drill in Montana. I mean, it's everything's
There's Irish
everywhere.
drill. I've heard some.
I ain't heard no Irish.
There's Irish drill.
First, check this out, right? I'm gonna set the scene for you. We got an OG. We have a legend, member of a classic hip hop group.
Yes, sir.
Now he's, late 40s, mid 40s, late 40s. I'm gonna say late 40s. This brother has come out and said he's gonna drop 7 albums in 2024.
Okay.
Now we've had conversations, previous shows about streaming and what's more valuable. OGs don't have to worry about that because they've already been established. But if I told y'all it was an OG, a part of a legendary group that's going to drop 7 albums in 2024, what would your response be?
Is it E40?
It is not E40. E40 successfully pulls this off every single time. It is not E40.
He don't drop 7. He drops.
Well, he
just
drops.
a long
He got
range
3
album.
this year, the 2 this year, maybe 1 next year, but he got like 3 in this next pack. But I'm talking about Juicy J from the legendary 3-6 Mafia.
Memphis was
He got 7 albums. Shout out to Memphis.
The only
And
thing
Bruiser.
that matters in this situation is, are these 7 albums worth listening to?
I'm
the end of the
about
day.
to cook, and we're going to get you a little bit of explanation.
Okay.
So what he said was, I've never worked this hard in my life. And he said he's going to purchase a beach house property, let his hair grow on his way out, and become
He's
a
already
full-time
growing his
hippie.
hair. He already got locks right now.
He said he's doing that once this is over with. But he said he's confirmed he's doing 7 records. And he said there's a collaboration album with Logic entitled Live and in Color. Now, this blew my mind because I did not see that coming.
No, me neither.
There's an artist named...
So it's not in black and white?
I see what you did there. Xavier Wolf. There's a project he's doing with him. I don't know this person.
He's talented, I think. Or maybe that's...
If I'm asleep, I'm sorry, but I'm going to do my research. But it's entitled Memphis Zoo.
Maybe I don't know who that is. Never mind.
It goes by Xavier Wolf. Beat King. That's entitled Ratchet P. Hold on, it's with Beat King. It's called Ratchet P. Entitled Ratchet P. And then there's one with Project
That's
Pat.
probably gonna be crazy.
And then there's one with Project Pat called Them Goats. I listened to that.
Oh yeah, I'm definitely getting
I
part of
listened
that.
to that. He said he also unveiled there's 2 additional releases named Mental Trillness Deluxe. And then there's a hip hop jazz album called The Raven Night Social Club. So he's not playing. These are 7 releases. It's just a little,
I wonder if they're already done. They might already be done.
If he says he's worked that hard, maybe that's what he's alluding to, that all these records are complete and ready for rollouts.
Yeah.
This is
So
what I need.
what I'm saying to y'all is, how does this hit coming from someone like Juicy J, where you say he's going to drop 7 projects?
It just remains to be seen. And again, the most important factor is, are they listenable
That's a good
at
point.
the end of the day? And why are you not doing an album with Duke Deuce?
It's supposed to been to happen. I agree.
Why are you not
I agree.
messing with
I agree.
You know
any
what-
other
Well,
Memphis
Duke
heavy
Deuce is
hitters?
on quality control. There might be some label
Might be.
situations
You're
there.
right.
But you gotta, Duke Deuce has got to be one of them ones.
He might have a feature.
I see you, Long.
Yeah.
I see. But
Yeah,
I feel you on that though, Terry.
Yeah, I ain't mad at it. I mean, if it happens, it happens. I just hope a lot of times, a lot of this stuff is fluff, I've noticed, from people releasing albums. It's like they're saying something just to be saying it in this moment, but it doesn't transpire. We literally had this conversation a few weeks ago with Redman. Muddy Waters 2 was supposed to have been out how many years ago?
Man, I stopped counting, but
least 2.
you proved it when we looked it up and couldn't find it.
Yeah,
You
it's
from Memphis?
Shout out to everybody in Memphis, man. I don't want no smoke. Lone Mike.
Hey,
You're the one that said...
he dating Glorilla on the low. That's why he don't want to talk about it.
Cut it out, man. Go ahead, man.
No, I mean, if he actually do it, then that's cool. I'm with it, but the product still has to be up to par. Just because you're dropping 7 albums doesn't mean that it's going to be good.
Nah,
at the end of the
I
day,
agree.
ain't that what matters? That you're dropping a good product.
Here's my. I'll play devil's advocate to that, Terry. Does it matter when you're a legendary status
Yep.
of legendary status?
I think it still
Financially, you're stable. You're in a streaming era where clearly you're not getting anything from it, but you can still tour as a legacy act. We'll call it.
I mean,
Does it really matter if all 7 of those records are lit?
No, because it doesn't matter monetarily.
I'm talking about to him though, like as an artist, as a creative. Do you think he really cares about all 7 of those records being lit?
No, because again, it doesn't matter monetarily.
All right.
He already has his fans that are going to be his fans from things that happened previously, regardless.
Because clearly the streaming game, what I would call the Chris Brown streaming game. We told y'all
Chris didn't start it though.
No, I'm not saying he started it, but what I'm saying is
cataloging, essentially, right?
Yeah, cataloging. Not loan, but Jay Moore alluded to on the last episode. He talked about Snoop's payout. That's a lot of damn streams. We talked about 1.2 million or something. It was what, 45 G's?
No, it was a billion.
Was it a billion?
Streams. You got 45.
All right, that makes it even worse. That makes it even worse. So there's a 1.2 billion streams and it might have got him 50 G's. Like, that goes into what we talked about when we talked about last episode with the streaming.
It also goes into an artist being an artist that doesn't need anything to do anything. At this time, he's doing it just because he's doing it.
He can play the catalog game and be fine.
Exactly.
I think Juicy can, 100%.
Yeah. Juicy can legitimately put these 7 albums out, and I'm just going to go ahead and give him the benefit and say that they're decent albums.
Yeah.
Pretty good albums. The only thing that I would care about from his perspective, it seems like he's doing this for catalog purposes. Like he wants that much music out there that's going to continually make money in a long, like,
there's some behind it.
You know what I mean?
Facts.
And he's just trying to put the content out there. Now, will each one of these albums keep the buzz for an entire year of dropping 7 albums in a year? That's a lot. That's a lot of content.
That's a good question.
But that's like an album every two months, give or
Depending on
take.
how you want to chop it up.
Every, I don't know, 7 weeks or whatever. But
yeah.
I think it depends also on like the type of content that he's putting out with it. Is he dropping a lot of music videos as well? Is he putting, like what is all that's going into it? Because just dropping albums is one thing.
But you know what though, Lone? I think to our conversation and our point about, OG status versus the artists that we were talking about when we, were talking about lower level artists. Some people, I believe, now I could be wrong because we're in a content heavy era, right? Everything is driven by content, what you put out, content. But I think sometimes there are certain artists that may not need the additional assistance from content, and they can still maybe get their point across. Maybe Juicy is one of those artists where it's like, it doesn't have to have a lot of bells and whistles attached to it for it to land and be successful. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah, but
maybe he might be one of those people that might be past that.
He definitely is. I mean, he's already crossed over essentially. He did
not when you're dropping
Katy Perry.
No, excuse me, not when you're dropping 7 albums though. Not when you're dropping 7 albums.
See, Lone is hitting on the point about the meaning behind the 7 albums.
It's too many because, like, if you drop 1 or 2 good projects in a year, then there's a lot of time for people to digest it. When you drop 7 albums, there's less time for people to digest, and it's less time for people to become real, true fans of each one of these because of just how overwhelmed we are.
Because that makes it, to Lone's point, that makes it seem like it's more agenda driven because I just want to get them out. I want to get it out. It's high content, high quality.
Or you just do it and not talk about it. I mean, Don Tripp is another artist. This past year, he's probably dropped 5 to 7 himself, 5 to 7 projects himself. Don Tripp has dropped this year. And they all were actually pretty decent. I ain't going to lie to you.
Good for him.
Starlito didn't drop anything, and he was like, well, since my guy has dropped as many albums that he said he was going to drop this year, I have to at least drop 1 album.
Yeah.
Starlito's album just came out or it's about to come out next week. They're not artists that are on Juicy J's level, essentially. These are people that are just doing it for the love and sake of doing it. And I can't say that Juicy J's not doing it for the love and sake of doing it.
I bet he probably is.
Yeah, I wouldn't put that on him.
But,
I agree.
I mean, he's Juicy J. I mean, when you think about the Memphis sound that they created, it is now kind of honored as top tier. When you talk about producers and influence and things of that nature,
I would agree.
Juicy J and DJ Paul came up with the sound that is pretty much taken over when you talk about like the nuances and things that their production did.
Very influential.
You know what I'm saying? So
that's true.
Juicy J is in a position where whether he drops 7 albums or he drops 1, I don't think it's going to tick any way.
Well, from what I heard and what you described, okay, it sounds like he got a solo album, then he's got a collaboration album with Big King, which is something that's going to go crazy in the clubs.
I agree with you.
For the younger. Then he's got the album with Project Pat. Okay, that's going to be.
I'm going to listen to that.
That's going to be for the
you like Project Pat now.
He ain't better than you know what? I ain't going to do that. I'm not going to derail us. Go ahead.
That's going to be the album for that people who really grew up on that Memphis sound.
Yeah.
I mentioned 2 other ones that I was like,
Logic.
The Logic record.
That's the one that has my attention, Jay Moore.
Yeah, it doesn't have mine.
Why? Bro, it's not. I'm not talking about race and that.
No.
I'm talking about the mix and what this can sound like. I'm intrigued by that.
Okay, you can tell me about it. There's another album that you mentioned, and then there's the jazz album. Like he looks like
I probably would rather hear the jazz album
for all of
those.
It sounds like he's trying to do 7 different projects, and so like I can get behind that as opposed to you doing 7 just Juicy J albums in 1 year. Like it seems like you're trying to hit different pockets, different markets, different demographics. And so like I think it's a very ambitious thing that he's trying to do.
Yes.
I'm excited about a couple, actually more than a couple of these records. I'll probably listen to them all, because Juicy J is just one of those people artistically that I am intrigued by, whether it be his lyrical content or just seeing, okay, where's he going to take the music? Because honestly, this might be a situation where what he puts out in 2024 is what they're going to be sampling, in 2039, because that's pretty much how his music has moved and created a certain space in the culture to where like everybody's stealing. Everybody's essentially stealing.
Mafia.
Not stealing because they're paying homage.
But
like
they sampling the hell out of them.
They're getting that paperwork together.
100%.
But it just realizes, like, for as much influence as Dre or DJ Premier has on the culture, quite honestly, we have to put Juicy J in that category.
100%.
And if we don't do that, we're doing it. We're
it's not just Juicy J though. You got to put Jay and Paul.
Yeah. Oh no. I'm saying that sound, that Memphis sound, is a part of pop music now.
100%.
And so we have to be very honest about the contributions, because a lot of times we just like to write off things from the South because it's the South, and it's not fair.
No, you can't. I honestly think South are a staple now.
There's still people who try to marginalize the South. Is like
only people from New York.
Bro, if you're still trying to marginalize the impact on the South
that are 47,
bro, you have to be 50 and from the Bronx or something.
Or you just haven't been listening to music.
And you talking to a person that grew up with a backpack on and loves East Coast music, but I'm not biased enough to not acknowledge the influence of the South and what it's had on hip hop and where it's at now. Atlanta and the South is the mecca right now of hip hop. I don't care how you want to, however you want to slice it.
New York will always be the mecca. Let's calm down.
No. I'm talking about, if you want to, mecca might be the wrong word.
Atlanta is the influence.
It's it has the most influence, period. If you want to say mecca for New York, cool, maybe I misspoke. But there's no other city that has more influence on hip hop right now than Atlanta. I don't care what you say. It just does it.
And kind of really, I'll say this. Atlanta kind of inspired the influence, essentially. But the sound, and we've had this conversation too, sound is not regional anymore.
Nope.
So people can come out and sound like they're from Atlanta and aren't from Atlanta.
Shout out to designer.
Thank you. So a lot of the stuff that we hear, that's just where it's at. And I'm a hip hop head.
Or just the South in general, because Memphis probably has more influence on Southern music than Atlanta does at this point. Maybe
that's cool. But what I'm saying is that those regions,
because so much of what comes out of Atlanta comes from transplants.
But you got New York rappers doing drill, trap, all that type of
drill
stuff.
Chicago.
Drill obviously comes from Chicago.
There's drill in Montana. I mean, it's everything.
There's Irish drill. I've heard some.
True.
I ain't heard no Irish.
There's Irish drill.
First of all, I just sent Lone a video the other day of the homies from overseas that's like 70 something. They doing trap drill stuff.
Imagine
African drill.
House of Pain drill.
Oh man.
What are we talking about anymore?
I don't know.
We're all over the damn place.
Nah, but I just wanted to.
It's gobbledygook.
It is. It's goblin. Goblin language.
Either way, the albums out of the 7 that are going to drop, the jazz joint has my attention.
That was kind of has my
the
attention
joint with
too.
Logic, and then the joint with Project Pat. Those are the 3 I'm going to sign up for off GP. The rest of them,
I think Project Pat is probably number 1.
That's for me.
Yeah,
you
number
trying to
1.
be ignorant though?
No, I'm not. I mean, whether you cut it, display it, talk about it, whatever.
Yeah.
Project Pat is a staple in Memphis and Southern hip hop.
That's
number 1. And then the jazz album, and then I'm interested to see what Logic can do behind a Juicy J production.
Is Juicy J producing everything?
That I don't know. It just mentioned the titles and features or whatever. So I don't know.
Yeah, I think me not being a huge 3-6 Mafia fan, not being a huge Juicy J fan, I do like newer Juicy J stuff. But for me, I'm just looking at this from an angle of, is it too much? Is it too little? Or not? Definitely not too little.
No.
Like what's his intent behind releasing it that way? And I the question that you have posed here is it smart or impressive? I think it's impressive to a degree if the projects are good.
Yeah.
And because of the versatility of the projects, if they are versatile, that's kind of impressive. But I don't know why you wouldn't space it out over 2 years, to be honest. But it's whatever. Everybody has their own approach, and I don't really care. So,
but you made a good point about giving the flowers out for the versatility in terms of if he's going to try to do this, I can give flowers out if whatever this jazz, whatever album is, and then he does an album with Logic, he does one with Project Pat. That shows me that you're trying to do things outside of the norm, because it's easy for him just to, get in that Memphis pocket.
Project Pat is pocket all day.
Yeah, that's pocket. But what I'm saying is the jazz joint and the Logic joint, I didn't see that coming. That's why I say they have my attention, because who has Juicy J and Logic doing a project together? I never would have saw that.
Does.
Well, we about to find out.
Yeah, okay.
As he yawns.
I mean, it's
come on.
I look at it just from a content standpoint, and it seems like he's just cataloging. It just seems like he's cataloging, But he did it in his own way, and it's
Or maybe a fire lit under his ass, and he's like, I haven't been doing a lot these past few years.
Maybe
we should listen to the Juicy.
I bet they're all done. I
do believe that. I think they're all done.
I do think this is not detox.
Yeah,
we're talking.
What would be cool? We should listen to the Juicy J and Logic project together and record it and put it on our Patreon. Yeah,
we can do whatever we want on our Patreon. That's
and just respond to the album live and just listen to it.
Sounds cool.
You know what I'm saying?
Sounds great for our
Lone,
patrons.
hang in there. Lone, hang in there, bro. Hang in there.